enjoy this if you're a content creator and you're looking to up your lead generation, but
Mm.
without losing your sanity. I really, really love to add that. All right, baby, we're
Did you want
live.
this?
Yes,
What's
please.
up, y'all? Happy Monday. Nadia decided to also go live on TikTok simultaneously. So we're live on the Talk. We're live on the Facebook and all the other platforms that StreamYard lets us stream to. I think we're actually live even on IG. If
Really?
you can believe it. So
Oh gosh.
how many of you would love to master short form video? How many of you would love to do a better job when it comes to all things content creation, maybe finding better ways to reinvent yourself or get more attention? Nadia has been crushing it with her short form videos, which is basically reels on Instagram,
Yeah.
reels on Facebook,
Yes.
and then TikTok, of course.
Exactly. I love it. I'm really excited to be here, John. Thank you for the opening. If you're joining us live, let us know where are you coming in from. And then also, let's hear this. Where do you originate your content, right? Because for me, my favorite place to create content in is TikTok. And I still believe that like editing piece to that platform is the most intuitive.
Yes.
I tried creating content on Instagram and just, when you start to get an itch, an allergic reaction of sorts, I've been really, really spoiled by TikTok. So I look for content ideas on TikTok. I originate and create content inside that app. I edit it, and then I'm able to repurpose it on Instagram/Facebook Reels and also YouTube Shorts if you're sophisticated, right? Don't be overwhelmed if you don't have those things set up. And my recent addition has been Amazon storefront. And what's really cool about it, I think Amazon is trying to give TikTok Shop a run for its money. And they're starting to add that opportunity for you to upload a video and then attach a product. So I just uploaded. I actually like this feature on Amazon more than TikTok Shop. I created a video where like I did a serum of all these different oils, right? Castor oil, jojoba oil, frankincense oil, which now I have been putting everywhere on everything and on everyone in this family, right? Obsession has hit me legit. And what's beautiful on Amazon, I was able to tag all 4 products, which I showed in the video, right? On TikTok, for some reason, I can only like tag 1 product. Anyways, and TikTok is a little bit kind of like, anyways, I'm getting off tangent, baby. I have a lot going on in my mind. I am so excited to be live with you on this beautiful show. It's kind of cool to be a guest speaker on our show.
How many new followers now on Instagram?
So I grew by 3,500 in the last 30 days.
Dang.
I had over 1 million views on Instagram in the last 30 days. So it's been kind of cool. I think TikTok was 1.2 million views in the last 60 days. And TikTok has become a little bit of a grind. So I'm noticing that, yes, I love to originate content on TikTok, but then most of the videos outperform my TikTok videos. But on TikTok, I had 2 videos that went viral that really took off. So I think if you can, I think it's a really smart idea to be kind of like double tasking, triple tasking, right? But I would always say choose one platform that's most intuitive to you. You might be listening to me and you go, Nadia, I cannot work TikTok. I tried. Like Instagram Reels, it's so much easier for me to create and originate content there. Then do that, right? But then you are able to grab that video you already made. It might as well and just plop it up on your other platforms.
Plop it up, whatever that means. But yes.
It's a word.
Is it? It's a new word for me. I learn something new every day from this one. One thing we've learned after 20 years of marriage, we're always working on me. Anyway, so listen, I think all of us can admit that maybe kind of sort of we could use more leads,
Yeah.
more humans to talk to about our products, about our opportunity. I know some of us have brand new products to promote, you know what I'm saying? Let's go. But at the end of the day, you don't want to rely on needing new products because you're trying to slam the same audience. The goal with social media, this is why we love social marketing conversations. You can market to new people. You can attract new people. This is why we started doing videos back in 2013, because we didn't want to have to just keep relying on cold messaging people or meeting people when we were out and about. They used to say, stick a mirror under someone's nose. If it fogs up, add them to your list. How many of us have been in the network marketing profession for that long? You know what I'm saying? If you want to age yourself, right? We used to say, just check if they got a pulse. They got a pulse? You feel a little something? Put them on your list. How many would agree? We'd rather not have to rely on, finding people to talk to about our opportunity. We'd rather attract people. Listen, in the beginning, you're going to have to reach out to people. You're going to have to be proactive. I still reach out to new followers. I still reach out to friend requests. I still reach out to people every day, but it is nice not having to do it as much as I did 10, 15 years ago, because we attract people, right? 6,000 new followers in 30 days. Imagine if Nadia just got 10% of them to raise their hand and say, what company are you guys with? What's that product you're marketing? What is that product that called Curb? It curbs your appetite. I want to try it. Imagine if she just got 10% what about 1%? Just 60 people. How many of us would have 60 new people to talk to about our products or opportunity? This is the beauty. What is that?
I don't know.
That was weird, right?
Yeah.
What that is the okay, cool. Showing the comments.
New feature. Okay.
TikTok's so cool. It is neat how over on TikTok it has all these little features, add live goal, sub fiesta. So all of you, in my opinion, all of you should be leveraging TikTok. All of you should obviously leverage Facebook. The reason I like Facebook the most is because that's where our ATM groups are, Facebook Messenger, everything about Facebook I love, except it's harder to get new followers. And here's all you have to do. Look at your own behavior. I don't follow a lot of new accounts on Facebook or Instagram for that matter. I don't know about you, but I don't find myself following a lot of new accounts. Now, I don't spend as much time on TikTok, but I know in general, TikTok is the future. I know a lot of younger people that are on TikTok or maybe even Instagram, but not on Facebook. So I think it would be advantageous for all of you, if you haven't started creating short form videos, to leverage TikTok. Now, some people will say, what if TikTok goes away? Because it's owned by China. At some point, in my opinion, they will be bought out by an American company. I don't think it'll go away. But if it does go away, it's not the end of the world. Here's the deal. Every single TikTok we've ever made, we've downloaded it and uploaded it on other platforms, including YouTube Shorts. LinkedIn has Shorts now. Probably even some of the other platforms that I don't even know of. We're uploading these.
Amazon.
I said that. Oh, Amazon now has a social media. Is it like a platform, I guess?
I don't know what to
channel?
call that. I just know I can upload videos into my Amazon store and I can attach the product that I talk about.
So what's cool is if someone's
really cool.
But if someone's confused on how to get started, an easy thing to do is maybe do product reviews.
Yeah.
Maybe start reviewing products that you're already using or that you wanted to purchase. It's kind of cool. You can buy it, do a review, see if maybe you get some traction, because again, the whole point of marketing is to get attention, get eyeballs on you, and
with
then
value.
Right? If all you're doing is selling and promoting your products, you're probably not selling a lot of product or promoting much in your comp plan. Would we agree? It's good to do that in your stories. It's good to do it on your Facebook. But if let me put it to you like this, you're not going to go viral or have a whole bunch of new followers or have a whole bunch of attention if every video is you just selling and promoting the same thing. You got to mix it up. When I look at a lot of our best people that crush on TikTok, they crush on social media, they crush with short form videos. If you go to their content, even if they do promote the products, they do it in a way that's value first. They educate, which is the number one form of sales. If you go to Nadia's social media, she's mostly the things she does sell on TikTok Shop, or when she attracts people to our network marketing business, she hands them off to me, right? But she is leading with value, with education,
Mhm.
with her sense of humor. And you know what? Some of her videos don't do much.
Yeah.
Some of them don't do much at first, and then weeks later they pop off, especially on TikTok.
Yeah,
Right? You
which
still have
is
videos from like 2 years ago
yeah,
that are
which
still getting
is
views.
this is why I would encourage you to hop on TikTok, because as I look at my analytics, specifically on TikTok, there are videos that John, you and I created years ago. There's
Mhm.
one video that's at this point has almost 4 million views. It gets like over 10,000 views still years later
Right.
every month, and it's still getting me new followers every month. When I look at my IG statistics or my Facebook statistics, it's not the case. So I'm noticing TikTok, just the life of your video is so much longer.
True.
And then yeah, so I would recommend you definitely do TikTok, and then decide if you're really good with Instagram Reels. I would just maybe repurpose. But I also know the platform loves it when you are using their features, right?
Hmm.
So I would say play with it. My strategy always, and this is also kind of like my one of my favorite jokes, is if you don't see me much, it's because I am doing more. And usually I like to go on a full on run if I want to figure something out. So about 60 days ago, I decided, let me jump back into TikTok, because our team has been running that particular account, and we were repurposing to that platform from our other social medias, right? Because I was busy doing something else. But I
Easy.
said, let me go ahead and jump back in. Let me see what's working, like what's new. As we all know, the algorithm always changes. And also, what we've noticed since creating content is there's way more supply than demand, right? It used to be really, really easy to go viral on TikTok a couple of years ago because there were few creators,
Right.
right? Now there's so much content, there's so many creators, it's harder to stand out. But if it's harder to stand out, that's true for everybody, right? So the persistent ones win. My strategy always is to go for it, fully focus on it, focus on it, and then examine evidence once a week to see, okay, like what videos are doing great, which ones didn't, why, being curious instead of frustrated, and then pivoting as necessary, throw everything at it but the kitchen sink. And I find, yes, it's a good idea to work smarter, but it's hard to work smarter when you don't know what's up.
Do you have a mindset of how many TikToks you do per week or per month, and then how
I
much
do
you think somebody
minimum one a
new?
week or one a day,
Okay.
but sometimes I've uploaded as many as 3 a day. So 1-3 TikToks a day. But this is when
So
I'm
like 7 to 10 a week.
full on,
Right.
kind of like testing out what's working. I'm not attached to the result. Like it's cool if it creates a result, but I always just have that mindset. And I think it's so powerful, because if you easily get discouraged, that's not helpful, right? But if you have that marketer mindset and you're watching other people's content as a marketer, not as a consumer, and you start to recognize, oh, well, this video, like that's actually wanting me to buy this product, and then reverse engineer, why is that? Is it the hook? Is it the CTA? Is it the way they showed you the product? Like you start to really get into the nuances of what's really working, and then you incorporate that into your next video and you evolve, right? So you have to just get busy with it.
How do they get busy though? How much time should they
would
put
say-
into coming up with the video, making the video, because in the beginning people's videos are probably not going to do much.
Yeah.
So we don't want them getting caught up and, wasting hours
No,
making
not
videos.
hours.
So what would you say
Yeah. No, not
for someone that's
hours.
like, they got a full-time job,
Yeah.
they're obviously building their network marketing business, their
Yeah.
team, but like they do see the value in TikTok, because they can make a TikTok video,
Mhm.
post it on TikTok, but then they can also turn that into a Facebook reel, an Instagram reel, a YouTube
Yeah.
short. They can post it in their stories. The same video can be used for multiple platforms, multiple purposes, and multiple times.
Yeah, and never mind 6 months later, 12 months later.
Right.
Like today on our Instagram and Facebook, we uploaded a TikTok video that me and you recorded a couple years ago, but it's such a good video. So what's
We did that today?
beautiful- We did that today. Yes.
Nice.
You haven't seen it yet.
Been busy. If you
You
don't see me
haven't
doing
seen it.
much, it's because I'm doing a lot behind the scenes, as they say.
Go ahead, baby. Be busy. I like it.
Borrowing your quotes.
Okay, so to answer your question, that's a really good question. So yes, it's always going to take you longer in the beginning when you're learning something new. I always budget more time. This is why it's really, really crucial to identify your priorities for the month. I like to do one big needle moving activity that I'm looking to master. I only take on one in a month. I give myself 1 month to figure out the details, right? That means if you're looking to master TikTok and then you also want to do YouTube and you also want to start an Amazon storefront and you're trying to do it all at one time, let me tell you, you are not going to create success in any of the things.
That's right.
You're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to drop it like it's hot. So I say get clarity on, okay, like what's one thing that I'm going to work on this month and work on that one thing only. For me, it was TikTok, right? So 15 minutes a day is what I would do. Kind of like, baby, the way I'm learning Spanish. Are you so impressed with me, your wife?
Let's hear it.
Well, I don't want to like take time now, but what I do is every single day in my Duolingo app, I log in and depending on the day, right? Some days I have like so much happening. I might just do 5 to 10 minutes, but it'll give me like I did something, right? And it's like that momentum. And I'm now 235 days into Duolingo, and it's just like that daily doing something, right? So with social media specifically, if it's going to be TikTok for you, I would say minimum 15 minutes. And some days you're going to have like, you know, an abundance of time.
That's right.
And you might do 45 minutes. You might overachieve for the day.
You might make 3
And you
TikToks.
might- Exactly. You might
Didn't you have that the other
content
day?
batch.
Didn't you make 8 the other day or something?
I did on Saturday. I did 8 different videos.
Dang.
It was fantastic.
Now, sometimes
I
they're
love
very
making
short,
that.
though. Sometimes the problem is sometimes people think it's like they got to make a video. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's just you. Can you explain that? The what do you call it?
B-roll,
No.
like voiceover.
Yeah, but that's still making a video. What are the videos where it's stitching or whatever?
You just duet it.
Yeah,
You
duet.
know? So here's how I think through like my Instagram to help you guys kind of see the big picture, what it is that I'm doing, is that because I've created so much content, I really know what conversations I personally selfishly love to talk about. So for me, it's biohacking, it's anti-aging, it's the products that help me achieve those things.
Do you guys get this though? Like she has clarity on her like pillars.
Mhm.
You know, we talked
Of
about this
content.
last Money Monday.
Yeah.
Like she likes anti-aging. She like what were they again? Anti-aging.
Yes. So anti-aging,
Skin,
lifestyle, travel,
right.
anything skin, anything health,
makeup, health,
anything. John and I
biohacking,
love
yeah.
business. I love real estate, right? Like, so there's plethora of opportunity for me. And I have the luxury of like multiple TikTok accounts. So like I'll go and I'll just kind of set myself up for my keywords of what I want to create, right? So I want you to think about what are those 3 to 5 keywords. And if you're just getting started, I want you to think about, you don't have to be the one to lead that conversation. You could be the curator. That's how you do it. So a lot of times, you know, when it comes to specifically biohacking, when I first started learning about it, like I couldn't just spit out those words like I was the expert. So I would duet the video, right? And I would feature that as an example, you guys, on my Instagram. I duetted a video about ChatGPT, right? And that video right now is at 800,000 views. It's growing my
So
Instagram.
just to be clear, it's someone else talking.
Yes.
And Nadia is just sitting there nodding her head.
Exactly. Now I added value by like adding some some copy over the video to bring some clarity. And then I created a very diligent, like, you know, caption with 2 additional tips. So that video is very good, but I'm not the one talking in the video. And that video has almost 1 million views. I did another video like that about anti-aging and NAD plus, right? On Instagram. Like it didn't
The one with
do
Ed
that
Milet?
well. Yes. It only got 100 views or 1,000 views, something like that, small on TikTok. But on Instagram, it got 300 something thousand views.
Yeah, but also how
right?
many comments? It's
A
insane.
ton of comments,
It's
right?
insane.
And then I go
People are like
and I
arguing
engage
in the comments, which is beautiful.
Exactly. So I want you to think, you know, TikTok is awesome because you don't necessarily need to have like, you know, like this niche conversation. Now you should, but you don't have to. So I look at it as
how
an
about this, though?
opportunity.
Because some people will struggle with that, the
Yeah.
niche conversation. Focus on one like pillar for like a month.
Yeah.
And if it's just like sucking and you just are like, why am
Maybe for a week. I would do
Right.
4 keywords,
Okay,
one
a
pillar
week.
per week. I
like
think
that.
would be really good. Continue.
But it could be like sub
Yeah.
category. Like you
Yeah.
have like one overall category and then like subcategories.
Yeah.
Right.
But I would also say for those people that go, I haven't done any short form video, like I want to get started. So it's kind of like figuring out what to record content around, like playing a sport. You cannot do it in your head.
That's right.
So I say throw everything at it. Like this is how I got clarity specifically. And every so often I re-engage that and I continue to play with different topics to just kind of see where I am at energetically. Do I want to talk about it? Do I want to learn about it? Do I want to curate content around this keyword or do I not? And does my audience care about it?
And
right?
plus you can follow.
But then the audience
Right.
kind of cares, different platforms care about different things. It's such a puzzle, right? It's a fun
but also
puzzle.
if they struggle with it, they could also just follow people that are experts in their niche and just like follow them and get ideas.
Yeah.
Like you don't
for sure.
This is the thing, like sometimes we think like we have to like come up with all our own original thoughts.
No.
And that's just your own ego.
I agree.
Like just lean into what's already doing well, but then put your own spin on it, right? You're like a DJ, right? You're gonna mix it up. Like you ever heard a song and it was like a remix of the original and you're like, I like the remix more than the original. Like that's you.
Yeah.
That literally is what TikTok started out to be. It used to be people lip singing.
I know, I agree. And for those of us that go, gosh, it's hard for me to even get started, my super hack, I'm going to share with you guys my super hack to like never getting stuck. Okay. So this is going to be a beautiful tip. You're really going to love it if you really stall when creating content. Okay. And that is just utilize ChatGPT. Here's what I find is that it's easier to edit than to create from scratch. It's easier to edit than it is to create from scratch. So a lot of times, if I have a good idea, like as an example, I have a beautiful idea. There's 5 different creator tools that I found after doing like a month worth of research. Like I order different tools, I play with it, like example, microphone, selfie stick, tripod, you know, like different contraptions to create content creation, like easy, right? So I now honed in on 5 tools that are freaking awesome, right? And then with TikTok, you have got to get attention within the first 3 seconds. So you need a really good hook. So instead of sitting there and thinking and stalling and whatever, what I do is I open my ChatGPT. Now, disclaimer, I've already trained that thing. It knows me really well. So I'm now able to type in something and it comes back to me. Very often, I don't even need to tweak it because I worked with it so much. If you haven't used ChatGPT, then you want to make sure you open up an account. I would recommend you get a paid one. You customize it, right? I don't want to go on like a whole other conversation, but here's what you're going to do is you're going to open up the same chat for social media. So I use the same chat any kind of time I'm creating content. I go back to the same chat. So it learns it, it memorizes it. It like knows what we talked about. And I'll say, hey, ChatGPT, here's my video idea. I want it to be 45-60 seconds. I want to feature these 5 tools that I found after all this research. Can you help me with opening up the hook and potential bullet points for the video, right? And the potential CTA, and it'll give me that jumping point. And then from there, I take over. Does that make sense? Like it's not difficult. Chances are you're overthinking it. And then, oh my gosh, here's the biggest thing. I just recently got this.
Nadia's getting excited.
I'm starting to sweat, baby. I'm starting to sweat. It's a good thing.
I can smell it.
Stop it. So the next thing I'm going to tell you, this is another thing that I think most of us, we don't recognize the impact of social media on our own brain. And this is where I learned this from Brendan Burchard, who's one of my favorite people to listen to. But he goes, the worst thing you can do is start your day with social media, right? And it's so difficult for us because we build our business on social media. So number one, do not start your day with social media. Always start with something that's going to be inspirational, that's going to get your brain into the proper energy levels and whatever else, right? But then to follow that, you have to really watch how much consumption you're doing when you're on social media, right? I noticed for
So
me,
be a
it really
creator,
affects it.
be a creator, not a consumer.
Like we have to be extra diligent because what you're doing is when you're just endlessly scrolling, right? Like if you're ever tired and you're just scrolling through social media, you're teaching your brain to do two things: to judge and to compare. So judge, compare, judge, compare, judge, compare. And then you end up stalling your own creativity because now you're comparing yourself, your chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to somebody else's chapter 15. Now your brain starts to feed you all this information. You're not good
So
enough. You don't
use
speak that
social
well.
media. Don't let it use you. Got it.
Exactly. I think that is something
So,
you really have
so I
to
got some
watch.
questions. Okay,
Yes,
so
please.
should they go live?
Yes. If you haven't done a live video challenge for 30 days, I would do that first.
Do they still have to have 1,000 followers?
On TikTok?
Yeah.
I believe so, yes.
So get to 1,000 as quickly as possible. Should they do a
So
follow
you're
training?
saying they've done a live. If you've done live video on other platforms, then chances are you have pretty good clarity about your topics that you like to conversate about. Now, if you've never done a live video challenge, before you go into short form content, it's more difficult, in my opinion. Actually, let's see what you think about this. I find for me, it's much more difficult to create short form content because you really have to be super sharp with your words.
Yeah.
There's no fluff. You have to get those 3 to 5 second hooks. You got to have your CTAs. Like there's, in order to go
I think the
viral,
problem with some
you
people,
have to be on it.
Some people, the problem is they're like, oh, let me go download TikTok and I'm just going to start from there because my friends and family, like they're not good. They're not going to be interested. I'm going to start with strangers. No, dude, that's the point of TikTok is to add fuel to the fire. It's to add fuel to the fire. So if you're like brand new, launching or relaunching your business, you should focus on where you already have a network of people because the whole like, let me go to TikTok and just start fresh. Good luck. Because you're talking to strangers. It's going to take a while to convert them or even get them to follow you or pay attention to you. So I like what she said is start with go live for 30 days.
Yeah.
Maybe every week you have a different topic of conversation. After a month and you've done 30 videos, you have a lot more clarity on what your short form videos should be or could be.
That's right.
Then you can start incorporating both short form and long form video. But you have to understand that it is more competitive right now. So you have to be okay with the fact that like in the beginning, you're probably going to ride that struggle bus, especially if you're not like interesting or you're not fast talking, like you don't have something valuable to say, or you take a while to spit it out. People follow us, quite honestly, because we do cover a lot of good information in a short period of time. But even our content does not get as many views as it used to. Even our videos, we struggle a lot more compared to a few years ago when there was less competition, there was less creators. And now you're not just competing with like individual creators, you're competing with company creators.
AI.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have to get better. Yeah. Being bitter is not going to grow your business. Nope. You got to get better. Don't get frustrated, get fascinated and say, what are the top people doing? Please. Oh, please. So with that being said, I like the live video challenge first.
Yeah.
If you have no idea what kind of videos to create, you have no idea what your niche is. Yeah. You just start, like I'll see people, they'll spend like an hour making a video that sucks. Like, just like set a timer, like 15 minutes, whatever happens, happens. Because I'd rather you put out a bunch of bad quality videos just to get used to making videos because you'll get better over time, quantity versus quality. Yeah. Then down the road, care more about quality. Like Nadia will not put out a crappy video.
No.
Now it might not do well,
Right.
but it's still a good video because she's been doing it for not months, but years. So keep that in mind. Now, what about the people that are stuck? Like they've been doing videos.
Okay.
They've been putting out content. Maybe not as much as they used to, because now it's harder. And instead of working harder when things get harder, they work less when things get harder, which is always fascinating. Like, oh, it's harder to get attention.
I'm going to do less.
So why are you doing less? And you do more when it gets hard. Like, it's like, but come on, how many of us are guilty? Like, yeah, when things were easy, I was doing 5 videos a day. Now that things are harder, I'm doing 5 videos a month.
Yeah.
That's a head scratcher.
Okay, so I think if you're stuck, this is what I do. I'm just going to share with you, take it or leave it, right? Take it with a grain of salt. But I usually take procrastination or lack of activity as a sign to recalibrate. And usually it starts in my brain. It usually starts with my limited vision, right? So this is why John and I, you guys, perfect example, tomorrow we're going to a mastermind. I'm going to be flying. John is going to be flying. We're going to network with 7 and 8 figure earners. Okay. Why is it so important? Even for us at our level, arguably we could say we don't need to plug into any more things. We're crushing it right now, right? But I'm telling you, when you are showing up to do your business, when you're showing up to do your content every day, it's like giving blood. Do you know what I mean? You're working with people that don't have the vision. You're selling, you are inspiring, and on top of that, if you have children, you have a spouse, you have a family, you have all the other obligations, right? So if you're not diligent around replenishing your own vision, your belief, your battery, you're not going to succeed long term. So that's kind of where the foundation lies. For us, once a quarter minimum, we're plugging into some sort of event. Every single day, I start my day with personal development, with something inspirational. You have to lead yourself first if you're looking to lead a business, lead a following, and be a creator, right?
Like,
so,
would you follow you?
Okay. If you're stuck, let's look at that, right? There's a chance you might have been a little bit loosey-goosey with that protocol, and you got to get plugged back in. That's number one.
Don't be loosey-goosey.
And if you actually want a good book recommendation, like if you feel like you're stuck in just scarcity mindset, you need to go onto Audible and download Bob Proctor, Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. Because your conscious mind is like a flea, your subconscious mind is like an elephant, right? And although you might have been training your flea to think abundance and to think success, but subconsciously you got a lot going on there that by default you kind of like hit that ceiling, or you don't follow through, or you self-sabotage and you don't even know why you're doing it. So in my opinion, it's always, my friend, a good idea to brainwash your elephant. Okay, Bob Proctor, download it, study it, minimum 30 minutes a day for the next 90 days and watch your life transform. Okay, next, stuck. Let me go into my next tip for that. And that is, you're going to mix it up. So a good example to give you, if I'm not excited to create content, usually I want to like learn something new. Like I love to learn. I could be the world's most curious human being. Like that could be it. But I recently signed up for like iPhone Academy, right? And it was like a very cheap course. Like it was like $39. I don't even know. And it was cross-pollinating. It was nobody in like network marketing. It was like nobody that I've seen, like our people that would be listening to, right? So cross-pollinate. Maybe you plug into a trainer completely outside of the norm. And that's kind of like a cool way to learn a little something new.
Like reinvent yourself.
Yes, like masterclass.com. Like there was a phase where I went through and I like studied comedy courses and I took like acting classes online, okay, not in person. But like sometimes it's kind of fun to learn content from completely different industry, right? That'll give you like fresh perspective, fresh ideas. I think you're only one good idea away from completely revolutionizing your life,
That's right.
your marketing, your social media, like all the aspects of your life, you guys. Here's the thing, fundamentally, what is your belief? My belief is if you want to be wealthy, study wealth. If you want to be happy, study happiness. If you want to be healthy, study health. So, what is your number one stressor? What is your number one initiative? Get the clarity and then put practices into play on a daily and quarterly basis to move you towards the goal. Ding.
And if you want to hang out with the classes,
You got to dine with the masses.
no, dude, you messed it up. I
What?
thought you'd remember this quote.
I did. I just crushed it.
Dine with the masses.
Hang with the masses.
Hmm.
Oh, if you want to dine with the classes, you have to help the masses.
There we go.
Okay. That's better.
That was hilarious. You got to dine with the masses. But that's what it's all about. You got to help people.
But that's
Nadia
what
helps
you do.
people
Yeah.
with her content. Hence why people click the follow button. Hence why people come to her. They're asking her questions. Here's how you know you're on the right path. People are
Mhm.
thanking you or asking you questions.
Yeah.
And it is funny too how much like Nadia gets all these questions on her videos. Some of these videos that are like, it's like content that's like new to her. Like
Yeah.
NAD plus is not something that she's familiar with, right? But she uses ChatGPT to respond to people.
Yeah.
But no one else uses it. Like I had someone last night, they reached out and they said, hey, what's the difference in your new product and this other product?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know about that other product. But let's
Yeah.
ask ChatGPT. And
Correct.
ChatGPT gives me a detailed breakdown of the two differences in those two products. And it doesn't have a biased opinion. It's just like, here's the differences.
And you guys, it already probably knows, but what I like to do, you can upload up to like 4 pictures or screenshots. So you can take a screenshot of, your product and then the other competitor product and go, please do a deep analysis,
Yeah.
pluses, minuses.
And then you could do a review video on that.
Yeah,
Here's what I found based on my research. Like back in the day, remember when this is what we learned from Ray Higdon, Chalene Johnson,
Mhm.
Attraction Marketing, Mike Dillard and Fernie and all those guys. They were like, look, just learn stuff and then teach it.
Yeah.
Learn something from a book, learn something from a podcast or a course or event you went to, a chapter in a book, highlight some of the stuff and make a video. Here's what I
Right.
learned. Here's
Yeah.
what I tried. That's what, look, I bought this thing and it's really cool. And let me tell you why it's cool. And by the way, one thing we learned from Chalene, this is really good,
Yeah.
is that it should be like 90% positive, but like a little sprinkle of negativity. What does that mean? Like if you
Reality, sprinkle of reality.
yeah, if you buy a product or you're promoting a product, I should say, and you're like, oh, this product's amazing, it's phenomenal, it tastes great, it's like, I feel so good, people will be like skeptical.
Yeah.
But if you're like, this is how she used to sell in infomercials, she would do like mostly positive, but then she would say like, but it is a little expensive.
Right.
Or she would say, but it doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
Or she would say, but it's heavy or whatever, right? So when
Right.
she was promoting something in her infomercials to build instant trust, she would speak mostly positive because, of course, if you're promoting something, you're not gonna be like, hey, you should purchase this, but I hate everything about it, right? You're promoting something. So obviously you like it. But then if you also speak a little reality,
Mhm.
like I like everything about this except this one thing. I was like, I wish they could fix
The
this.
taste is not the best.
Right. Or it's too expensive, or
Yeah.
you might not be able to afford it. But and it's funny how when you do that, people are like, I trust this person
Mhm.
because they're not just telling me all the good. Then you make it sound too good to be true.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason we attract people, because we do speak
Yeah, you're really
transparently.
good at that, John.
We're always authentic. We're always telling people the way we feel. And, we kind of, do our best to share our insights without it being too biased. Because, of course, we're always going to be a little biased. We believe what we're doing is better than what you're doing.
I know, right?
And by the way, it is. But it is hard. I mean, I
But
guess.
funny equals money. Did you catch that, guys? Let's just hear it as a marketer. Like, think about what kind of videos do you like to watch? And another thing that I do too.
This is part of
on
the
my
reason, by the way,
content-
with these political candidates. They're always like, anything good, they're like, I did that. That was because of me. Anything bad, they're like, oh, that was the other guy. That was her. That was him. That was it. What? Like if they were just like, listen, we kind of messed up on this one thing, but that's why we made this decision to change our opinion on it. I decided that this used to be a good idea, but now with some new information and with the evolution of we changed our mind. Or now we're putting this new policy in place. If they did that, they would skyrocket in polls. But because it's like my side good, your side bad, that's why no one trusts them.
I agree.
It's like everything. It's like if the other side says the sky is blue, they'd be like, sky's not blue. The sky, that's a reflection of the water. Oh my gosh. Like, it's just amazing to me how, like, if you want to see how not to do things, watch the political thing that's going on in our country right now. It's sad. And I know all of you have strong opinions. I have my strong opinions too. I have a side that I definitely love a lot more than the other side. But I think both sides could do better if they said, look, we messed up on that. That was our bad. We'll own it. We'll own it. But here's all the good things we did, and here's what we're going to do moving forward. But instead, they're like, every bad thing, their fault. Every good thing, my fault. It's so dumb. It is so unbelievably dumb. So don't be like that.
Learn from it. Okay, so can I switch gears and just say, where should you start? Like, this is a great starting point before I take on any new 30-day experience, is I do an audit. Do an audit. Pull up your social media, whatever platform where you've been creating content, and do an analysis. What are the top 5 reels, 5 short form videos, or 5 live videos in the last 30 days, 6 months, 12 months? And that'll give you a pretty good idea about where you should lean into, like why did they do well? And then what I like to do on Instagram specifically, when I scroll through, I look for how many shares the reel gets.
And saves. Don't you do saves too?
And saves.
Saves and shares.
So not so many likes, comments are cool, right? But how many shares and saves? And that's a really good indicator that you're creating shareable content. So think shareable content. What are others going to share? People share things that's going to make them look good. So how can you lean into that, right? Lean into that. I love it. I think this was really good, you guys. Was this valuable? Let us know in the comments. What was your biggest takeaway? I think that, yes, in order for you to work smart, you have to work hard first. Like, you have to throw everything at it. You have to be okay with being first really bad at it. That's how John and I started. We used to be really bad at video, and then we got better, and then we became good. You were not.
Right out of the
and
gate.
Then we became great, and it's a process. You can't get great at it if you don't put the reps in. So that's a reality, right? You're going to throw a bunch of stuff.
They were expecting shortcuts.
But the shortcut is going to be hire ChatGPT as your co-pilot. Like I have been going
hire, like hiring someone for a job.
Yeah, for $20 a month. I think that's what it costs. But they have been changing their pricing. Okay. I read so many comments on this viral ChatGPT video, and there's so many people that have it twisted, right? It's not about AI replacing humans, but it is about AI with a human that knows how to use it, replacing it humans that don't speak AI. That's where it's at. So if
that really is the truth. That's right.
Yes. If you look at ChatGPT specifically for me right now as my co-pilot. So when I have a really good idea, which by the way, I'm not so high almighty to say I'm a genius. I also believe in higher power. Like I ask God, use me, let me be a pen in your hand, lead your people to freedom, right? And then I get ideas and I translate it as a responsibility to showcase it, So how are you kind of seeing that? I think is really important to hear. But when I get an idea, I'm like, okay, let me kind of run it through ChatGPT. How can I optimize this? Like, what are the questions? What could be the hook? What could be maybe a potential script? And then I don't follow it, word for word, right? That's where you may just get like a little bit like caught up in the AI language. Still be you, but look at it like as a super smart assistant or really expensive consultant that's helping you like optimize every area of your life. And it doesn't have to be, you guys, just content. I'll give you an example of an open loop that I have. So at our primary residence here in Maryland, right, in our master bathroom suite, we have this huge shower. And for the second time now, I had to have my housekeeper like clean up mold, you know, from like the ceiling or whatever. And the builder messed up. They should have put some kind of fan into that shower, right? So there's not enough circulation, so the moisture sits. You guys know how the mold works. So anyways, I'm about to take a picture. It's been on my mind. I haven't executed it. Can you believe it? So I'm going to take a picture of the ceiling and I'm going to say, hey, ChatGPT, what a creative solution to put a fan in here, like on a budget. And I'm pretty sure there's now things where like the recess light can also be a fan, but I'm going to start there. So anytime I have any kind of question, and instead of Googling things, I'm like, let me outsource it to my co-pilot, AKA expensive consultant, AKA super smart virtual assistant. And then there's so many good ideas. And usually it's like, I'm on to the next thing. Okay. Baby, are you gone forever?
Yeah, just tell them to smash.
Oh my gosh, you guys, let me read your comments. Norman says, fun equals money. I agree. If you're having fun, you're doing it right. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Let's see what else. Amelia says, master one thing at a time, 100%. That's the only way to get really, really, really good and to continue to evolve. Like the mistake I see people make is you're trying to do too many things, right? There's a million different ways to make $1 million online, and you can't listen to too many people. I think if you like feel overwhelmed and you feel the urge to execute everything, I would start with downsize how much content you consume. I would listen maximum 3 trainers, 3 people, like maximum, right? So if you're going to study, like I recommended, right? Bob Heilig, Bob Proctor's book. Bob Heilig is amazing. Yes. So Bob Proctor, I would literally just focus on that one book and study that, like really master it before you move on to the next thing. You know what I mean? Are you getting into the sauna? What are you doing?
Yes. I thought we'd be done by now, but you keep talking. So you keep going. I don't want you to stop. But I got a sauna session and then a haircut.
Okay. All right, you guys. So let's wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining. I have to say this was so much fun for me.
So smash the heart button.
Huh?
Smash that heart button.
Oh, smash the heart button. Thank you. If you love this training, let us know in the comments your biggest takeaway, and let us know what should be the next topic of conversation to help you move the needle in your business. As you know, we love business. We love marketing. John and I, if there's one thing that's like a never ending thing for us, is we consistently grow. We incorporate it into our workflows, and then we see, does it make a difference? What kind of impact does it create? And then we love to turn around and teach. And you also want to make sure you're following John's stories. Like, I'm not as good at story, like that's not where my genius lies. So John does such a good job at storytelling in his stories. For me, I love to capture the best nuggets, biggest takeaways, and I love to create the short form videos. So for me, reels are kind of like where I have the most fun, and that's where my genius is most utilized, right? So follow my reels, follow John's stories, and let us know what should be the next conversation that we have together on the show. So thank you for tuning in. You are amazing. We love you. Have a beautiful day. Go crush it. And we'll talk to you soon.